Miles Davis and the Prestige Quintet there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the performance, guys. Wonderful performance. Performing their song 4 from their record Blue Haze. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. Very talented musicians, and yeah, we wish them all the best with their career, and to Miles as well with the surgery on his larynx next week. Yeah, good luck with that, Miles. Right then, folks, what a show we have for you tonight. What a show. Yeah. It's guest time now, folks. You guessed it. And heck, we've been on about it all week, so you know it's coming. The time's there, finally. Yeah. Having finished 2 Oscar-nominated productions, and well on the way to wrapping up the third, no doubt. All at just the tender age of 24. He's a man many people have been dazzled by due to his presence on screen, but few have had the pleasure of meeting off. This is probably, quite simply, the most anticipated interview in television history. And you are all about to meet him right now. So please, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the hottest actor in the world right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Dean. James Dean, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. I have to say, Mr. Dean, I have never heard a reaction quite like that before on the show. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. We all know how busy you are. Thank you for giving us your time.
Well, yeah, it's...
James, Mr. Dean, the mic on the table. Feel free to use that. It might help. Yeah, you're welcome, it's fine. Everyone else can hear it.
Well, yeah, so but basically, yeah, it's nice to, be here, and, I'm happy to be here, and you've got a lovely audience, and, they gave me a nice ovation. So.
Right, you're very welcome, Mr. Dean, don't worry. Actually, he's so polite, ladies and gentlemen. I assumed he was a rebel. I'm sorry. I merely jest, Mr. Dean. I merely jest. I do apologize.
It's okay, Steve. It's your show. You can say whatever you want.
I've got James Dean on the show here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm dangerously close to running out of time of interviewing him. So, no, you mind, Mr. Dean, if we get this thing rolling now? I've got people in my ear screaming. I mean, we're running out of time here.
Yeah, sure thing, Steve. Fire away.
Okay, well, fantastic. What a brilliant sport, eh? What a brilliant sport. Right then, Mr. Dean, before you came out, I briefly mentioned it. You've been already nominated in 2 Academy productions, and you're well on track to being in a 3rd. I'm sure, no doubt. Just at the tender age of a young 24 years of age, and already people are hailing you as a great, a modern great in cinema now of our time. How do you respond to such claims?
How do you think anyone would respond to something like that? It's I love it. Of course, it's amazing. It's incredible having this opportunity, and something doing something I love so much, and not sucking at it. It's of course it's relatively speaking, it adds a lot of pressure, people saying things like that, but of course you just got to get on with it, and it's the job. So it's you know, if people if people are going to keep watching, then I'll keep doing it.
Oh, people are definitely going to keep seeing you, Mr. Dean, I'm sure. Ain't that right, folks, eh? Yeah. No, in reality, we barely know anything about the man, James Dean, as such. We've only ever seen the tiny snippets of you on screen. So tell us, what do you enjoy doing outside of your work?
Well, if you mean broadly, I like, you know, fast cars, beaches, pretty girls. You know, I like hot weather, basketball, a little bit of bullfighting, and yeah, I like the bongo drums as well. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not kidding. You know, I love the bongo drums. But if you mean specifically, you know, when I was back in New York, I used to watch. I used to go to the theater like 3 times a day, and I get bored quite a lot though. So you know, if I get bored of acting, then I guess I'll move on to directing.
Well, don't do that too quick right now. We don't miss you on screen too much, I think, Mr. Dean. Okay, what have we got here? You touched on it briefly there, Mr. Dean, about your passion for fast cars, and you've been accused of driving too fast on the roads as well as the racetrack. Tell us a little more about that.
Well, Steve, my passion for racing started, you know, when I was very young. I had a reverend who took me to my first ever 500, my Indy 500.
Indy 500.
Yeah, that's it, as a boy. And,
I've been to a few myself.
you know, and I loved it ever since, and it's something that's always been a great passion of mine. And you know, I'd rather much be on the track than, you know, on the roads. On the roads, you can't judge what, you know, people are going to do, and whereas, you know, on the track you can. I'm not one of those that's going to go out on the road and do something that I shouldn't do. And to be honest, I don't think I'm going to live much past 30. But you know, it's one of those. But you know, it's dangerous, and I know it is. But what's a better way to die? It's fast and clean, and you go, you know, in a blaze of glory. So.
Wow. Well, powerful stuff there, Mr. Dean. Powerful stuff. Well, folks, if you're just joining us now, no doubt you've been watching from the beginning. But in case anyone is just tuning in now, do not adjust your television sets. No, that really is the man himself, just sat there. That is Mr. James Dean. Well, Mr. Dean, so let's hark back to your first feature-length movie, East of Eden. Your first film, first major role in a motion picture. A massive, huge box office success. You must have thoroughly enjoyed that whole experience.
Yeah, I mean, Eden was great, of course. It was, you know, one of the first. It was my first ever feature, and I wouldn't be the person that I've become today without that. You know, I'm a very different person now to what I used to be. I sometimes would have to sleep in my car because I wouldn't have the money to you know, pay for rent or pay for food or anything like that. So I'd just like to say, if I may, a special thank you to you know, Mr. Jerry Lucci. He runs a bar called Jerry's Bar, and it's you know, in Manhattan on 6th Avenue. So I'd just like to say thank you to Jerry for that. He helped me out, you know, at the toughest of times. He gave me food when I needed it, and just looked after me when he could. That was when I was, looking for television work in New York. But yeah, it's Eden. It'll always have a special place in my heart, and it's I had a great director to work with as well on that. So.
Wow, incredible stuff there, Mr. Dean. Okay, well, so next up we have Rebel Without a Cause now then. Your next feature, which I believe is being released next week, is it? Next week, yeah? It's a highly anticipated film, and I myself, like many others, I'm sure, we're all looking forward to watching it. It's being hailed as an iconic piece of cinema, and please tell us about the film.
Well, I play a character called Jim Stark. His mother and father, we moved to LA, and Jim, being only 17, he has to go back to school, and it's about how he copes with that, and going back to the school part was real fun for me. So.
Well, I'm sure for educational purposes, of course.
Oh, of course. No. The film deals with real life issues, father and son relationships, and the differences of the youth today and compared to the more traditional older approach. It's exciting. It's got car races, guys fighting. It's got girls, but I also found it to be very moving to make. I'm very proud of it. And Nicholas Ray, and the director, he's incredible. There's no other word for him. It's just incredible. And he had a great directing vision, and he actively encouraged me to express myself. And through that character, and asked me to kind of put a lot of my own things into the character as well. So I got to let a little bit of my wild side out that time as well. So that was pretty cool. So it's exciting, and I can't wait for you all to see it. So.
Well, fantastic, and we're all very much looking forward to that one indeed. And then in terms of future projects, you've already got another piece of work in the pipeline. Your next feature, I believe it's called Giant, is that right? And it's coming out this time next year. Yep. How's that all going with you?
Yeah, it's going along just fine. So.
So far, yeah, we've heard things aren't always the smoothest on set as such. We may have even heard almost 7 hours late to a read-through just earlier today. Care to speak about that, Mr. Dean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not one to talk down about a director, but it's I know it's a hard job, and I know how much effort and time it takes up. But yeah, I mean, George Stevens, after all, he's a fantastic director, and I'm privileged to work with him, and I have occasionally been late once or twice. But he should see how hard it is, though, getting up at 5 in the morning when you go to bed at 2. So, it's rather difficult.
He doesn't realize how hard a lifestyle you've got.
He's got no idea.
Yeah, moving on. There is something I would like to ask you about. Are you quite a stressful person, Mr. Dean? How do you deal with all this pressure? After all, you are James Dean, of course.
I mean, no, it's not really a question of coping. It's something that I've chosen to do, and it's something that I guess I have to deal with everything else that comes with that. And at the end of the day, I do what I love, so I'm happy that everyone is supporting me whilst I'm doing that. For a while I suffered from insomnia, and it's. I don't think it relates to the acting, but I think the acting helps because I get to escape into another person. So I feel like I can kind of hide behind that person sometimes. And then, the racing also helps as well, because that just, when I'm out on the road, everything just goes.
So, is it a form of escapism, would you say then, Mr. Dean? Do you physically enjoy acting, pretending to be someone else, and are you happier doing this than what you were doing and being the man you were before?
Yeah, I think I think acting is my life. It's it's something that is I've been doing for so long, and it's something that I hope to keep doing. And I can't remember a time when I wasn't acting. Not going to be any other way, and I don't ever want to go back to the person that I was. It's got too comfy now, and it's too easy for me. I think it's easier to get inside someone else's head. Sometimes if you want to be that character, you've got to completely engross yourself in them. So I think unless you truly believe that you're that person, you can actually become that person. So portraying them, I think you've got to really get inside their head.